everyone, this is Otsukimi. This is Observations with Otsu, hence the name, right? We have a lot to talk about today. We're going to go through a few things, and we've had some pretty good price action already. We've had a very active weekend, considering everything that's been taking place, and mixed with some scammy stuff, some drama. Quite the action-packed weekend, and frankly, I was a little frustrated about it because I stare at the charts every day, and nothing happens, right. And then like for me, everything happened at like 10 o'clock on a Saturday, like 10 p.m. on a Saturday, like just the worst possible freaking time, right? Like I'm getting ready to wind down, we've been out or whatever, and it's just the worst time because I'm already tired. Now we got a big, a drop down. It's continuing to do so today, and so we've pretty much been in a drop down for about 4 days now, roughly. We'll talk about that. So the general theme that I will talk about today is like scams, basically. Haven't quite thought of the title yet, but I'll get that shortly. But I'm going to talk about everything because there was 3 people, I think more likely 2 people. I don't want to presume, but I also don't want to give people the benefit of the doubt because I'm really, frankly, tired of giving benefit of the doubt. Like, blockchain is designed to not trust people. Like, and not to say that you can't trust them, but like the whole point of blockchain is to not trust but verify. Verify that these people are not a bunch of scammers, okay? And so that's the thing. So I don't give people the benefit of the doubt. And maybe that's a little old school now, but I don't think that you should. We'll get into that, right? That'll be more some thoughts going forward. But I'm going to break this up into 4 pieces, and I'm going to talk about them as I go, so that each area of this video will also have some technical analysis accompanied by with some general thoughts about what's going on, because some of the scam stuff do correlate to the assets, and also certain asset types like Bitcoin, for example, are more of a value holding versus more speculative assets, which I'll correlate them and put them in parallel to different aspects of scammers that try to make you look at speculative assets as well. So I'm going to try to pair them up. I got some storytelling mixed in with that. If you like that, I hope you enjoyed it. If not, that's fine. So we'll go into that. It's going to be 4 parts. It's going to be I'm going to have a dedicated part, maybe about 5 to 7 minutes, just general thoughts about the whole aspect of the market in regards to scams and spam links and just the whole toxicity of the market. I think it's really peaked. Anyway, I'll get into that in a second. For Bitcoin, I'm going to discuss the foundations of having a good integritist aspect to trading and how to look at more integrity-based influencers and accounts. So it's one of those things like you don't need to have Twitter or X or any platform to trade. You might be better off if you didn't have it anyway. But we tend to follow people, obviously, and honestly, we kind of do that. We should be doing that to reflect thoughts of our own and make our own decisions, but a lot of people look at them just like, oh, what are they doing? I'm going to do exactly what they do. We'll get into that. So that's the Bitcoin thing, how to stir it into a proper foundational way to look at people that you trade with, and how to have some integrity yourself if you want to. If not, that's on you. And then we'll get into that actually with the Ethereum aspect, understanding. So when I do Ethereum, we're going to talk about the risks, rewards, and the wisdom involved in looking at scams, spam links, influencers, things like that. So that's probably going to be my favorite part of this video. We'll get into that. And then when I cover Solana, I'm going to cover just the whole idea of how to, like, just don't support spammers in general, okay? And then with XRP and the rest of them, I'm going to look at how you can identify these in the wild, because maybe you don't know. Maybe you're interested to do this and you don't know. And I'm doing this for, if I can just benefit someone by doing this, if I can just prevent someone from losing money. I see this all the time, every cycle, every year. I've got somebody in our Discord right now that I've talked to privately last year, has been through a lot. Primarily, they lost a lot of money because of other people, not having the integrity to just even just something as simple as just sharing that you are exposed to market. And there's a lot of things that we should take for granted. Like I said, we should do that. I'll get into that in the Ethereum section. But the point is, it's a two-party system. It goes both ways. Like somebody that's online that buys half freaking $1 million worth of tokens and does not tell you, and tells you that this is the next biggest coin, which obviously is a lie. I think we all agree that when anybody says that, they're probably lying or just trying to get you to buy. And then so that people buy and then they immediately sell. So if they actually think that's a value, why did they sell? They sold because they want the money. And so they either did it out of ignorance, not realizing that that was going to lower the value, and they would just cash out. But these people that did do this know better. I know that they know better. I've talked to one of the three of these people in my early years, and I'm very disappointed in this one individual. Even for just associating with them, because before I even found out that the other two were scammers, I could just tell by the way that they talked. They insult people all the time. They treat people like crap. Okay, and we'll get into that during the XRP, Binance Dogecoin section. I'll look at how do you identify those type of people, because there are rude people that can trade well, but it's very rare. And typically, the people that do that end up not being as good traders as you think they are. There's this whole perception. Get into it later. Long story, but the point is, if I can just help one person, from not losing money, I think I did a good job. Okay, this isn't about me helping you learn how to trade better. This is about me helping you in the ways that I am legally allowed to help you preserve your capital so you could potentially gain more later, and so that you could have, a house for your family or whatever. I'm not trying to get compassionate or sentimental on you. I'm really not. But the point is, we're all here to make money. Okay, so if there's any way I can do my part to assist in that, like legally, without giving you financial advice or literally giving you money or whatever, see what I'm saying? Like, we'll get into that. But I hope, and my hope is that I am at least an okay of a person to talk about this. I'm trying to, I'm just a random dude that got involved in this. So, whatever, I don't want you to believe that I'm some nice guy necessarily. Okay, that's not my goal here. I want to have to prove that. So anyway, we'll get into everything. That's pretty much the intro. About 60 seconds of preliminaries. I got the Nowhere Discord. If you are not familiar with it, I'm going to drop the link in the description on YouTube and on Twitter X. Another thing is, yes, I keep saying this, and I know it keeps getting delayed, but I've got the Nowhere Premium coming soon. It is a paid service, and I don't want to hear anything about paid groups. We'll get into friend tech as well a little bit, just a little bit. In addition to that, I also got bots coming. I've said that for a long. I really feel bad because I've actually have said that since really January, and I have not delivered. So I apologize. I sincerely apologize. I'm probably going to do a free month for everybody. And I already got previous other members that have 2 months of free bots as well coming up. So I'm really hoping I get that delivered at the end of this week. The problem that and this is completely my fault, is I had a client come in and they wanted a bunch of software stuff done, and so I was doing that. So I was working with my other clients instead of helping you guys, and that is my fault, and I sincerely apologize for that. So, but that's basically the rundown with that. I hope to have that coming later this week, probably Thursday, Friday, I would probably guess. So those are the preliminaries. I spent a lot of time on this. Let's just get right started and dive right in. All right, so first things first, I'm just going to talk general thoughts about the whole market conditions, not just the price action being so crappy, and we can see this here. We're touching on a level here, but also just the whole scammy crap that's in the market. Okay, if you're in my Discord, we've talked about this a few times now. We talked about a slew of a small army, honestly, of people that promote small caps, and they are proud of it. Which, look, I delve, I do go into small caps, and I do talk about them at times. But this is a group of people that make a lot of money through small caps, but they don't make as much money as you think through small caps. Okay, and it's one of these things like you can't prove it, but you are able to call them out. The problem is that they defend each other, so it's like a mob mentality. Like it's like a cloud that just floats around in the crypto space, and they defend each other. And so the problem is that they hurt a lot of people. Now, and I can't remember everybody offhand, but the problem is they'll say things like, "Well, you need to do your research. It's your fault." Blah 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 blah. The problem is they know that that's a load of crap, and so yes, do you need to take responsibility? 1,000%. I absolutely agree. I actually quote tweeted a post from Altcoin Sherpa, I believe, basically saying like, "Hey, you're an idiot if you trade off of somebody else's stuff and you lose money. It's your fault." Okay, so and I, I, I do kind of agree with that in a sense, but the thing is, I feel like it gives people like a free license to just throw things out in the air that could scam people. So the thing is, it's a gray area, right? Because if I talk about a coin that has a $1 million market cap, and I have not contacted these people, right? Like I'm not partnered with these people. It's just a random coin, but I've already added. Let's say I bought 1,000 of that, right? And then, let's say I have a large influence, like 500,000 followers, which I don't. But there's other people that do that should not be into this. But anyway, they shill that coin, and then they cash out. Like, is that illegal? Is that illegal? I don't know. It's not whether you can or you can't, right? The point is like if that's your intention to dump money on your followers to use them as exit liquidity, that you are a terrible human being. Okay. All right. First things first, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're down about 2.5, just a little bit over that. We're going to talk about kind of the integrity of trading as well, but we'll get into that a little bit. I'll probably make those a little bit shorter because I did take a lot of time with that. So going on to this, we had the drop down. We went back down to this level. This is the exact level I'm looking at. So actually, we're going to go to the weekly perspective first, and so we're going to go into that. So weekly was so 2 weeks ago. Actually, we had the big wick down. So that was a good sign that we were probably going to go down, at least down to the lower level. We had a decently bearish, pretty uneventful, but still bearish candle, and then we already have a drop down. So that's very consistent to Mondays. As you can see, we have these big wicks for the past 4 weeks. Okay, so this is consistent with what we have seen, and I see this every week that we get a drop down on a Monday and we recover. Okay, now that doesn't mean, obviously, these were not bullish candles and they were not bullish weeks, but we did wick. So that's the thing. And so we have the same mentality that, oh, the sky is falling, the world's falling apart. It's just freaking Monday, guys. Okay? And so we can analyze this with other things. First of all, the RSI has been broken for some time. Consolidation has been active on the bearish side for some time as well, ever since here. That's pretty much been a downtrend ever since. So a few things that we can look at. I got too much stuff on here. What's going on here? Really? Let's just get rid of all this. All right, so clean chart, just the way I like it. So one thing that we can look at is that we have this liquidity area right here, and then the top of that is about 25,200. That's exactly where we're at, probably within a few bucks. And the lower part of that is about 24,280. So we're kind of around in that range. This is the breaker, and so usually we retest to the top of that, and sometimes we retest to the bottom of it. So we are at that range. So we are at more of a critical buy range. I did have some longs open. I think 2 of them have since stopped out. I still have to update them in my Discord, because a lot of them happened early today. So overall, this is the level that I'm looking at. This is a key level that I think everybody should be looking at, that theoretically this should not break. So if this does break, excuse me, we have a lot of issues. And so I mentioned this, I think, with Jackus on Twitter, X, I keep forgetting the name, that if we go down here below and even if we break down and we retest, we're spending 6 more months down there, in this area. So like this whole area will spend probably at least 6 more months if we break down this area. That's not good. It's not good at all. And so it could make you have lower price and you can get in, but it's going to be very boring. And the thing is like you guys can't even like have the patience to go through a week of price action. That's why you guys are losing money. That's why you keep trading. That's why you fall for these scams. And just like the Vitalik scam, or the Vitalik one where he got hacked, like the hacker made like 700,000. I heard, like, this is stupid. This is really, really dumb. Okay, and people lose so much money to NFT links and all these other things. You need to watch yourself, because there's landmines everywhere. Okay, and just create a foundation to where you have some common sense. Find a way to not lose money as much as possible, like the links, the followers, the influencers, everything. Okay, just I don't know. I honestly, my hesitation results because I think people really enjoy being scammed. I really do. I really think that they do. I've seen a lot of people, especially with small caps, say, I understand the risks. I'm willing to take 100% loss on this, and I'm just going to buy whatever this influencer says. No, you should not be doing the third thing, okay? I understand buying something and knowing the risk. I understand taking 100% loss on those risks as well. But what I don't understand is why you should follow someone knowing that they've set up basically a small organization behind the scenes with other people that they talk to. You don't think that people don't talk to people about this? Like, I know that they do, because I've worked with some other people that, like, I know how the networking effect works. And I think most of you do too. But I don't think people realize how deep that goes. Because I can guarantee you that if somebody that does small caps and shills them consistently and networks with someone consistently about it, they've probably got 3 layers of people that they talk to. They probably talk to a few different people in private chats. They probably have a group chat, like a gym group. Okay? I've seen these before. Back in the BitConnect days, there was a lot of people that would just promote scammy gyms and call them gyms. I mean, there's a new one called the Crypto Gym with that Leia lady that just, she doesn't have your best interests. Okay, these people are all over the place. There's different levels of gray areas here, and some of them are not gray areas. Some of them are black or white, pretty clear. So, but the thing is, man, that you should not. They talk to so many. I guarantee you, if they're in a group of people that talk small caps, I guarantee you, they're talking to at least 10 people minimum that are ready to buy at any time, that have money to buy, that also have their own followers. Okay, so if you got, if not 20 or 30 people, and so if each one of them buys 1,000, you're looking at $10,000. Like I kind of mentioned this earlier. But then if each one of those 10 people have 200,000 followers apiece, and some of them have 500,000, now, and some of them have paid groups that talk about the gems that they are buying and making money off you while making more money off of you. Like, come on. This is ridiculous. Okay, but like, if they have 200,000 followers each, then they have 2 million between the two of them, and their impressions are more like 20 million, 30 million, so somewhere between 10 to 30 million. I know that's pretty wide, but 10 million is a lot. Let's be honest. And so even 1% of people that buy, and the average statistic for social media is roughly 2%. So I always assume that 2% will always be interested in anything that you say. But let's just reduce it down to 1. Okay? So out of those 2 million, 1% are willing to buy. So that's like, what, like 2,000 people? And so if they all have, let's just say, $100, so that's 20,000 on top of the 10,000. So now that's $30,000 that are going into each of these microcaps every single time. And that doesn't sound like a lot of money. But when you consider the illiquidity, when you consider the research that they do, they're always going to be ahead of you. And I understand that they probably think that that's part of the nature of hunting. And I agree with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with being first. The point is they do that purposely so that you're second. Okay? And so I don't know if there's any one solution for that, but because the thing is, why don't they just buy it and keep it to themselves? Because they know they need you to make money. Okay? If they never said anything, their coin would never go up. They're using you to make money. Anyway, going back onto Bitcoin here. All right, so for Bitcoin, we are at this level, kind of hovering here. I don't like the current price action. I don't think anybody else does really either. And so we're at some levels here. Let's go ahead and look how much this would be. Drop down, 3% or whatever. So I think we can get another potential 3%. That's the thing too. I don't want to hear any crap about people saying like, oh, you don't know how to trade Otsu. You don't know how to talk about things. Like, okay, well, because a lot of these people, especially like the trader people, like they really think that they're the best traders. Well, if you're so great and you've been so great for years, why did you have to dump money on your followers? Okay, I can be glad to say that I have never dumped money on my followers on purpose. Never. Okay, ever, ever, ever. And probably not even on accident. I've been pretty good about that. I feel like, but I don't shill small caps either. I don't partner with people like this. Okay, I do partner with people. I do have clients, but I negotiate all of my contracts in stablecoins, all of them, or Bitcoin or Ethereum, where it doesn't have the effect. So anyway, plus I have 9,000 followers. I don't have that much influence as you think you do. So with this, we still have the consolidation. This is the likely bounce area that I'm looking at. Probably the mid of this, probably like $25,000. I've discussed that for some time. This is a big area to crack. I don't know if it's going to be too easy. I hope it's not. We have been above this, so we did break below the 200. So this is what I want you guys to watch out for. This is kind of like your homework assignment for the week. Watch to see if this recovers on the weekly. If it does, that is a very, very, very good sign that this is a bottom area. I would not be surprised if we hit 25,000 even, or which is only $146 away, or we even go a little bit lower to 24,300, and then we wick back above by the end of the week. Okay, and that's why I'm saying, like, there's some people that already are doom and gloom. It's freaking Monday. This is the first 24 hours of the week. Okay, the week usually starts like this. There's nothing going on that's overly surprising here. So just keep that in mind. But look at the 200 EMA. I think that's crucial for this week especially. because we don't really drop below that on the weekly very often. I believe it's pretty rare. I'm gonna look on the 2 week as well. Okay, we got plenty of room for that one. So anyway, going to the 1 day, I'm just gonna delete all of this here. So we had the down move from today. Again, I still, there's a good chance to recover. We'll look at the 4 hour, I think, today for this as well. We'll just go ahead and make this a longer video since it already is going to be anyway. Make it worth your while. So we had the mini order block here. Honestly, we've had a situation where we had consolidation, uptrend, fade, consolidation below, deviation, fade. So this is pretty consistent. But this is also, troublesome because we've also had the divergence, which is kind of breaking. And that's another thing. A lot of people look at this and say like, oh, you have a trend line on this and then it broke. Well, that doesn't necessarily. I'm not a big fan of trend lines on RSIs, honestly. Because people will make that trend line, but then they'll get rid of the MA. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I think MAs are a great tool for pretty much everything. It just seems inconsistent to look at one and not the other. So anyway, digress from that. Going to get rid of this. Speaking of EMAs, and so we got a few things here. So this was the big weekly, right? Like that's kind of what we were looking at. But I'm going to kind of modify this to where this is the low. These 2 wicks are the liquidity area that I'm looking at here. And we can see that we've matched up pretty well with that. So I don't foresee us breaking this immediately, basically. I can see this holding for the day. It should. You want to, if you're any kind of bull, you kind of want this to hold. Now, as far as buy levels, you could buy here. I'm not comfortable at that. I mentioned in Discord that I think this is a fake out, and I do think this is a fake out. However, if it is a fake out, I don't think it makes sense to buy until we recover this level. Okay, in this particular instance, but we do have a divergence here, and we had pretty much the same thing here, right? So like we had a divergence. No, maybe that's the wrong time frame. We did. I know that we did. Maybe it was right here. That does qualify, but we came down. There was a divergence somewhere, I remember. That could be one, I think. Maybe that was it. So the thing is, anyway, I digress because that's not part of the point. Even though we have this divergence, that means something's coming. Okay, that means there could be some liquidity concerns. And that doesn't mean that we're going to go up, by the way. If there is a liquidity concern, we could drop down. So that's another thing. So this is the level I'm looking at. If you wanted to buy a spot here, I don't think that that's a terrible idea. I think I would prefer to wait above here. If you're looking at long-term spot buys, like holding for 6 months minimum, I think this area currently looks good. I think above here looks good as well. If you wanted to wait, you got to think like this whole area is going to be really tough. And so you could long somewhere at the bottom of this around like, probably 24K, but also anywhere in the 23,000 range as well. Other than that, I don't see any reason why it would go much lower, honestly. It could go here where this is not a bullish breaker because it didn't go above this level, but it did break through this one. So this would be my next one. If it broke here, if it did not hold right here at the 24.3 area, then I think it could go down to 21,800, 21.9, basically. So I personally would probably just buy at 22. So, but that's the thing. I don't think it's going to go any lower. I think 25,000 needs to hold. I'm not saying that it will, but it needs to. And so that's kind of where I'm looking at. This is where I longed right here. So I'm just a little bit underwater right now. The market looks terrible, but this can recover, and I hope it does. So let's go quickly to the 4 hour. We can kind of continue this. Doesn't really look good, but that doesn't mean it can't turn up. We still got 3 hours left to go on this. Do have a bullish A-ring consolidation, so this could confirm the spring. And this is exactly what I'm personally looking for. I'm looking for a spring fake out. This is kind of a weird one. Not exactly textbook, but it is something that I'm looking forward to. And so the thing is, I would wait till we get a reclaim first. So I don't normally look at 4 hour on observations, but it's been a pretty boring week other than that. So I think it's worth noting, looking for that upswing. The thing is, this is a very skittish market. People are already concerned, scared, and I really think that that's bullcrap. I really think this whole year is just bullcrap because you guys have had plenty of opportunities to buy and long, but people are so impatient and people are scamming everybody. Like, there's so much fear and doubt, and there's no reason to. Like, we were at 31,000, okay, and 25,000 is not that bad. But everybody is so scared, okay? And so what you can do is, first of all, not be scared, but use that as an opportunity to get lower price points, or just stay the course. So we'll see. So I am interested to buy lower if we do get it. If you guys know, in my Discord, I just bought a bag of Solana. I plan on buying another one. So we'll see. I bought 4% of my portfolio is now in Solana. I plan to triple that the lower that we go. So we'll see. So that's Bitcoin. Going on to Ethereum. I'll try to make this shorter going forward for this video, but we'll go ahead and just continue. All right, going on to Ethereum. We're going to discuss this. This is a trade idea that I had that actually got stopped out, and that's okay. I do plan to buy again. So what I mentioned, I might want to go into the weekly, but I'm going to mention this first. I was looking for this touchdown area here. What I want to see is a reclaim by the end of the day. We got plenty of time. Okay, we got 6 hours left to go for this, so almost 7. And I think that that's pretty easy to get. If we hold that, I think that we're good. I might look for a slower time frame, divergence, something like that. But we'll see. I'm not. The thing is that I am interested in longs, but I'm not in a hurry to just grab something. Okay, and that's the thing. I'm already getting messages while I'm recording. Oh, here's a small diversion. Here's this. Here's that. Like, you should not be in a rush to buy something when we have this type of price action. You want to wait until things fall and we get confirmation, even if there is a divergence. Okay, you still need confirmation of something else. And so the problem is we've had boring price action for like a month now, and so everybody just wants to feel something, right? Now's not the time to feel something. Okay, it's like you've been starving, but you're trying to eat right, and then somebody, there's like a pack of donuts on the table, right? You don't want to eat them if you're trying to eat healthy, because now you're going to ruin your diet. So you got to make that decision. If you want to, I don't care. But the thing is, you can't just buy or sell the first movement, because that's not healthy. And that's why I'm saying, like, this is a discipline. This is emotional discipline, and mental discipline. Wait for confirmation. So let's go ahead and zoom out, because I kind of like to start on the 1 week for these videos. And so we can kind of see this playing out. This is the triangle that I looked at, the Adam and Eve, deviation, downtrend, and now we're kind of hovering at this line. And so there's a few different things. First of all, we have this on the daily, we have this on the weekly, and they're failing both. And the thing is, I know this is a little bit contrarian and even dangerous to an extent, but I don't look at these until we get confirmation. This is not a breakdown to me. I don't interpret this as a breakdown. I interpret this as a pending breakdown. And I think there's a difference, because we still got time to reclaim this. And if you short this and you reclaim it, then I think that's pretty silly. I don't think it's a good idea to short here, because of a downtrend. Now, if you already did, making money, whatever, right? So, like, if you're at the 5-minute chart, and this looks a little divergent to me, but it's not valid because of the length. But it's like I don't know. I don't see it. If you do, maybe you're a better trader than me. That's okay. But overall, we need to confirm this yet, and so we got a lot of time left to do that. If we reclaim this, I think that's a great sign. And so if not, market's dead then. So another option would be a drop down to here. If you want to go on a trend perspective, 13,000. That's gonna be pretty tough. So we'll see how that goes. And that would also kind of confirm with this area right here. So that would be my next option. If we do not hold this, I think that the low 1300s is the next area for a touch. The problem is like the price action sucks, but there's no definitive direction that we're going to go so low. But if we do go so low, which is a possibility, we are going to stay here for some time. You better believe that we're going to stay here to the end of the year, and that might be fine with some of you. I think it probably would be fine with me. I don't think I would like it, but it would give me more opportunities to buy more at lower prices, etc., etc. And so, do I still think that we maintain the low? I absolutely think that we do. I absolutely think that we maintain a low or a bottom on Bitcoin Ethereum. I don't think we'll go lower than the 800 that we had, or whatever. So is this the biggest bull trap I've ever seen? I don't know. Even if we do make a new low, it's not a bull trap. I don't understand it. So anyway, point is, this is what we got going on. We still have time to recover. If we don't, 1300 is next, which is still decently high, above the 1,000 and below, but could give you a good option. So going on to the daily, that's kind of where we're at now. Nothing really much to say. We broke below this level, but we've done that for some time. This is an interesting area. So this middle line is kind of from this section right here. So I'm going to kind of just delete that and kind of go from the top here to the bottom of this point. And so this is the adjusted one, and so we're right at that line. So I can see us stopping here, and then waking back up, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. I was looking for a fake out on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mentioned that in Discord. Right now I look like a fool, right? But we have plenty of time, and that's the whole idea of a fake out, that you do look like a fool temporarily. So we'll see how that goes. Overall, not much else to say. 4 hours. I mean, we're at the 14 RSI, bullish consolidation. So I don't see any reason why this would continue. Divergence is forming. We'll see how that goes. But overall, we'll look at that. But as far as the scamming topic for Ethereum, it's just knowing, and I'll mention this just briefly, like knowing your risks, knowing the rewards, and knowing the wisdom. Okay, like everybody knows the risks, right? If you buy something small cap or any influencer, even somebody like me, that I don't think I qualify as an influencer, but like anybody that you see online, and this is so cliche to say, but I'll expand, that you should assume that everybody that says anything about any coin, that they already have a vested interest. Why would they talk about it if they don't? Okay, I've mentioned that on posts years past. So the problem is that we all know to say that. We all know to say the magic words to get us out of the financial advice kind of thing. But nobody really acts on it, or they just assume, yeah, it's not financial advice, I don't care. And then they just take the risk, but they don't really understand the risks. Or they just don't care. And that's pretty, to me, that's very much equivalent to just like eating just really unhealthy, knowing that you're diabetic, knowing that you could have a heart attack, knowing that they could have health problems. Like, you just ignore it, right? I'm gonna die anyway. I might as well just smoke my whole life and eat donuts my whole life. If you want to do that, that's fine. I'm not criticizing that. I really am not. I'm just saying, if you have a standard to do X, why would you do Y? If you have a standard to try to eat right, do better, then why do you do contrary to that? Like, and that's the thing. 10 years later, you'd be like, oh, I wish I never did that because it wasn't freaking worth it. Okay, and so whatever. That's not the point of this, video. The point is, a lot of people understand the idea of risk and that you would lose 100%, but when they actually lose 100%, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like, they don't realize that they did lose it, or they could have lost it and they did lose it. Okay. But then they also don't understand the rewards, because chances are, let's say you buy 100 is just an easy number, right? And there's a lot of influencers that claim to have a lot of money that I know only put like $100 to $300. Like I know people with 7 figures, almost 8 figures, that when they buy small caps, they only buy like $200 at a time. So let's just $100 for easy math, right? So if you put in $100 and you make 2x, you're at $200, and then you cash out. Okay, well that's actually, a 2x is fine. Even a 3, even a 5x is fine. But I still think the risk, like your risk, is 100% of that value. Just know that. I don't like the R values are still the same, but the risks are way higher. Like you have a higher chance of losing more money with small caps than you do with regular caps. So I don't know. I'm willing to do a small cap group. I think I would probably do private invitation only, and I think there would be a lot of rules. And that's why I don't do it, is because I don't think it would even be fun. So anyway, but the point is, understand the rewards as well as the risk, because if you're on, and here's the thing, like I've bought coins where I bought Spell, I've bought Rari, things like that have made 3,000%. So I've been there, I've done all that, right? The problem is that most of you won't even get close to 30x because you'll sell it at 2x or 3x. Okay, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So you're kind of cutting yourself off of the rewards. So then now your reward basically becomes 2R, which is less than an average trade for me. I don't trade unless it's I don't make a trade unless I think I have a good idea if I can make 2.5R or more. So, but also, last but not least, for Ethereum, the Ethereum topic is the wisdom. Have some general wisdom of what to buy. Like, don't buy these goofball names or whatever. Like, do they make sense? Like, look at the project, look at what they do. Don't just buy some random. If you do, that's fine, but understand that you're probably going to have a higher risk for coins that are just dumb versus ones that actually have a use case. Okay, so just try to get a general wisdom of that. So anyway, that's Ethereum. That's that topic. We're going to go to Solana next. All right, let's go on to Solana. I'm going to go up to the 1 week first. Kind of talk this out. I've mentioned beforehand that the weekly is very interesting to me. This is the trend line. Well, this is actually isn't the best trend line. Here's an adjustment of that, but we pretty much broken below that, so we're kind of in the same vicinity. However, for ARUM, we have the consolidation on the bearish side, looking for a wedge. So I think this could continue. That being said, it doesn't necessarily have to continue down, but the whole trend could. So we could see a curling up here. It just really depends. This is something that we want this to hold throughout the week, and that's why I've been kind of critical about this week in general. That I think, I'm not saying that we should bounce. I'm not saying that we will bounce. Okay, but I am saying that we need to, or we are going to get some more, much more problems like than you think. So if we go down below this. Had a pretty big downtrend. We're probably about 5 weeks now. This is the next level that we look at, about 1550, and so that's probably another area that I'd be interested to buy. After that, it would probably be. You could make a case for this level at 14, but I'm much more. This was a bullish breaker, so we could see something like right here, and that would be about $11. So I would probably buy much more at $11. Than I would at the other levels, just because if we get down to that low, that would be a pretty good buy. But again, the theory goes, if we go down there, this is probably gonna be stuck here till about March, and that's the thing. Are you gonna be sticking around till March? This would give us a good consolidation period, though. This whole level right here, and so that would be the level that I'm looking at. And so from a higher time frame macro perspective, that's what I would look at. If you're wanting to trade this would be a great opportunity. If you waited till $27, I think that would be a great buy opportunity. Probably even more so 32. The problem is we're already at half of that price. So it just makes sense for me. I bought some here in anticipation that we could go up. But if we go down here, yes, that gets reduced by roughly half, but then I can also buy more. And so the idea is I do plan to get a pretty considerable amount in Solana. So we'll see. I just started my first bag yesterday, so it could go up or down, and I'm completely okay with that. We've actually recovered pretty decently so far, so we'll see how that goes. Going on to the daily, this was my position. I believe this was a trading position in the Discord, which did get stopped out. That wasn't my holding bag, because my holding bag is a ride or die bag. This is turning into a full bearish trend, no consolidation on that, so that's bad news if you are a bull. Another thing I see is this consolidation up here, or this breaker here, so we could see a drop down to about 1660. I think that makes sense. But this does need to hold to stay in the wedge. If this does not, then that's a guarantee, probably 99% guarantee. This is where it makes sense from a TA perspective to think that we will bounce from here. That we could probably see, we probably, if we zoom in, that we'll probably go right above here. I wouldn't be surprised if we are high 17s by the end of the day. Well, that's pretty much 17.9, I should say. That was probably not fair. So 1795 to 1800 by the end of the day. I think that makes perfect sense, because we would be in line with both of these from a confluence point, and then we bounce tomorrow. That would make a lot of sense from my perspective. Let's go ahead and go down to 4 hour. I had some people tell me this is divergence. This is not divergent to me, based off a lot of things. And so you also have this breakdown here. There's a lot of stuff here. I'll get rid of some of this. But so far, this is a. Let me see. I think this is that one. I'm gonna get rid of. So we still have a retest of this wedge. So far that's not good. We retested above it and we're breaking down. So we want to zoom in even more and look at it from this. So this is the order block that I am looking at. And so we can readjust it, I guess, maybe to here, just to make it more comfortable. This break is what you want to play. If this goes up, I'm considering longing this. I'm adding to a longs for my Discord. If it breaks down, then I think that could be the end of this move. So we'll see how that goes. But this is something that I'm wanting to look at for the rest of the day. Overall, it would be a shame, TA wise, if we break below this trend line and the wedge. Like, this does not happen very often, and honestly, it would be a sign that the market is pretty much done. Like done, like for the rest of the year, if not till next spring, which is, for me, is like March. So you think it's boring now, just wait until then. I mean, that would be, if I wasn't active in the trading, with influencers and everything like that, this would be, if we broke down from here and I wasn't involved with my business, I would just buy a few things and walk away for 6 months. I really would. And so maybe that's something for you. And so for the scamming thing, I think I probably won't focus much more attention on the rest of the video. But the thing is, like, don't support these guys, because it gives them validation when you follow them and you like their stuff and you retweet their stuff and you're involved with the same projects that they are. It gives them validation that they are not doing something as bad as you think they are. And so that's one reason why I'm against the idea of I'm going to buy this token that they talk about, and if it goes to zero, that's fine. I understand the risks, and I understand that you understand those risks, but you're still promoting someone that is doing that to someone else that doesn't understand that, and that's not trading. Okay, that is them putting a, it's like my son. My son is growing up, and we're trying to teach him good health habits. Okay, and one thing that we went on a 2-week vacation or 2-month vacation this year, and I didn't make that money by dumping all my followers. He discovered Coca-Cola. Okay, and so obviously we don't want to give him any soda at all, and I don't drink much soda myself anyway. But he's learned to really like that. So this example for the influencer stuff would be like me giving him like a 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola every day after day after day after day after day, and then blaming him that he gets a cavity or whatever when he's older. Now, a little bit of exaggeration, right? But you get the premise, right? You still know that they are doing it to somebody else, and I don't know. So like, if you don't discourage that, there's a long enough time that will pass where you become implicit in that. So, and I don't want to be that guy. Like, I'm not saying I'm holier than thou or whatever. That's not where I'm going. But the thing is, if you want scammers to go away, we have to stop protecting them. Okay, we don't. I'm not saying that you should attack them, but I'm not saying that you should protect them either. So, anyway, that's pretty much the gist of the scammer thing. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the video. We'll go to the other three. I'm going to cover them all in one section, cover them very briefly, and because I'm sure this video is going to be an hour, so we'll just keep going. All right, going on to XRP. As far as trades, like I mentioned in Discord, that I mentioned a short opportunity. It's going very well. We're about halfway in, so that's good. I can talk more about that later tonight in Discord. We did break below that level, and so I think if you are short on this and you took this trade, I think this is a pretty decent take profit point. We're at the breaker with that one, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all that, and then also get rid of these as well, and then we'll go on to the weekly time frame and kind of navigate this, because I was really looking for 55 cents. We did not get it. This was the SEC news, and I told people that this is sketch. I'm not a fan of news-based pumps, and this is exactly why. We have faded this entire move, and not only did we fade it, excuse me, but we also broke the trend line because of that. The RSI is broken. The ARUN is under a bullish consolidation, but it currently has no effect. Based off of my knowledge and experience of ARUN, it tends to rebound halfway through. So right now we're at 68. So by the time that we get to 34, let's say, we could see a rebound. Now the thing is, you take 37 divided by 14, which is, when I say 14 because that's the number shown on the ARUN as the default, you get roughly 2. Okay, 2 to 3, and I always round up to the nearest whole number for ARUN. So that makes me think that we could have 2 more weeks of bearish price action, and then we get a rebound. So a lot of this is math-based stuff. And so if you ever wonder why I come up with just some random, seemingly bogus analysis, that is the reason why. So going on to XRP, as far as this goes, I mean, it could bounce here. See, these tiered trend lines, they're kind of tricky. It could bounce here, it could bounce here, it could bounce here. It could bounce in a lot of different ways. I don't really like that approach. I think a better one would be like treating this whole thing as a deviation here and just kind of spreading out like so. So we could see a touchdown to about 41.8 cents. Other than that, I don't. That's pretty much it. I mean, you could also kind of do. I don't do this often, but you could use this entire thing as a fib, and that would be roughly where we're at now. So that's a possibility. And so it's one of these things where, see, the frustrating thing for me is that in hindsight, we could have shorted this, correct? I think we could all agree with that. But in foresight, you don't know. The risks aren't really there to justify that. And so they still really aren't, in my opinion. I'm under the impression that we could buy as it goes lower as opposed to just shorting. It just depends. So that's kind of where we're at on the weekly. I'm not a big fan of XRP at this level. I'm not even interested to buy XRP, but again, we could see a rebound within 2 weeks, possibly even less. This was kind of divergent, but now it still could be, I guess, for the 2-day. No, it's not. So it's kind of done, kind of expired on this, and so again, this is the level, the 46 cents even, I think, is the level that we need to focus on. Other than that, not much to say on XRP. I think I would probably just hold off, wait for a good high time reclaim, and wait. And I think you should do that with all of these, honestly. I think clearly the best the lowest risk is going to be in Bitcoin. Going on to Binance, we talked about a short here as well in Discord, and it's working pretty good. This is one of those things where I halfway joked that we could get a retest down to $50, and I still think that we could. This is one of those things where it needs to hold above 208. It's currently at 206, so this is failing. If this does not hold, we could get a good nuke. Honestly, the more that I look at this, maybe we do deserve a market-wide nuke just to kind of get that out of our system. So we'll see how it goes. If it does, that's going to be scary. I am about 40% invested, so I would have to make some adjustments. Going on to here, somewhat divergent, but again, I don't know if that qualifies on the 2-day. It does actually, so that's something to consider. Another thing here with the trend line, that could be a focus point right here. We could stop right there. It's one of these things where like we could fall pretty significantly this week, or we could bounce this week. So like even though we had a drop for Monday, nothing's really changed as far as like the what ifs. And that's the most frustrating thing, is that you don't really know what's going to happen until it happens, and it's too late. So you got to make preparations, right? So have an area where you're focused on shorting if you want to short, or buying if you want to buy. So other than that, I think I'm going to stop at that one. Go to Dogecoin really quickly. We have the drop down, but nothing significant. We're still above, or we're still right around this level at 6 cents. We could drop down to 5.7, but overall, we still have this level right here that we are above. And so as long as we are above 5.7, I don't really see any reason to short this either. And I don't really see a reason to long it either, because we still have a lot to climb above, like 6.4 for example. But we do have a very wide bullish A-room consolidation that I like. So anyway, that's what I have with Doge. So that's the video. Apologize if it was long. I need to get that out of my system. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, I apologize. And we'll just continue this week. Hopefully we have a good week trading, and I'll see you next time.